sorry, but that's kind of bullshit at some point. If his words and his actions are not in alignment, then it's clipped. Come to find out, he had like a whole girlfriend on the side. I don't want anyone looking like a fool in these streets. I'm honestly really excited to talk about this because I have had my fair share of failed relationships, or what I like to call situationships. Okay, I know the title of this video says 3 red flags you need to know, or 3 red flags you need to pay attention to. I don't know how I'm titling this, but you know what I'm saying. In the talking stage, well, a situationship and the talking stage are literally the same thing. So a situationship is basically like where you're in a relationship with a person, but in reality, it's really complicated. You're not actually together, you're not fully committed to one another, but you act as if you are. Things you do together, the way you treat one another, it's giving romantic relationship, but there's no title. That's basically what today's talking stage is, which is why I really hate the talking stage. I'd rather just call it dating. I'm gonna get into exactly why I hate the talking stage. I completely denounce it at this point. Maybe I'll do a whole separate video on that, actually, where the talking stage really just shouldn't exist. Either way, it doesn't really matter what I think on that, because people are going to do it regardless. People are going to pretend they're in relationships when they're not. They're going to be committed to people that are not committed to them for some reason. And I'm not judging anyone who does this, because hello, you're talking to the queen of that. The second I like you, I'm like all yours, and it's disgusting. That's why I literally don't have the energy for like anyone right now. Ugh, talking to people is exhausting. A lot of us find ourselves in this talking stage, in this situationship. I want to talk about the 3 red flags. There are probably so many more, and I want you guys to comment down below any more you can think of, or share your thoughts on the ones I'm about to share with you guys. But yeah, I want to talk about the red flags you need to be on the lookout for when you're talking to these people. The talking stage, the situationship. It's that stage where you meet someone new, so intrigued by this person, right? They give you butterflies, he calls you pretty, he tells you to get home safe. You know, things just seem to be going well. It seems like this person really likes you, right? Now you're at that point where you're just kind of like, what are we doing? What is this? What's happening? But you don't want to be the first one to ask that question, especially from a woman's perspective. You don't want him to think you're like forcing him to be in a relationship with you. I think that's where like a lot of men don't understand. That's my opinion. I feel like a lot of men think that we are trying to nag them or rush them into relationships, when in actuality, we just want like clarity on what's going on, so that way we know how to move accordingly as well. For example, if we're talking every day and you're basically acting like my boyfriend, I'm gonna want to know if you plan on being my boyfriend, because if you're talking to other girls this whole time, then I could have been talking to other guys this whole time, and you kind of just want to be on the same page with that person. But a lot of women, since there's this stigma around the question, what are we, are afraid to ask. This is a sort of guide, some signals to look for. That way you don't even have to ask that question. You'll already know what type of time he's on, she's on. Any doubts that you're having, any confusion you're experiencing, once you see these red flags, you won't even need to question how this person feels about you, or like how they're moving when it comes to you. So one of the red flags that I have like experienced, not only recently, but just like over like years of like talking to guys, the go with the flow mentality. So one thing I've noticed with a lot of guys in the talking stage, they're just like, oh, like I don't know what we are, but let's just go with the flow. And like everyone loves this word vibe, energy.
Let's feel the vibe out, let's go with the flow. I just love your energy, and like I want to see where this takes us. Like let's not put any pressure on anything.
All right, I disagree with it. I do, and I know this sounds like very like weird, but really think about it. I do believe that to some degree you need to go with the flow, right? You do need to get to know this person, want to see like where their head is at, where their intentions lie. You want to really know the person, you know, you're committing to, or the person that you choose to be, you know, your partner, because that is the person you will predominantly spend your time with. There are a lot of factors that go into choosing a partner for sure. But one thing I've noticed about this whole like go with the flow mentality is I think that a lot of people abuse it in this stage. I think in the beginning you should definitely not have any or like too many expectations, but I also think at some point like a conversation needs to come around where you talk about like what's actually happening. I think a healthy way to kind of like gauge like where they're at is to set boundaries from the beginning. Say you're talking to this guy and he's great, like you like everything about him, he's showing like clear interest in you, doing like relationshipy things, but then you have moments where you have to like stop yourself, and a lot of us do that because we have to remind ourselves, oh well, this person and I are just going with the flow, like nothing has been established. Well, a great way to figure out how they're prioritizing you or where they place you in their lives is to start setting boundaries. So for example, if you guys are just talking, you don't need to be like kissing, holding hands, having sex. And this may sound traditional, but take it how you want. I feel like those are things you will more likely want to do with like your actual partner. When you're giving someone like all of these benefits, all of this access to you and like your energy and everything you have to offer off the jump, then what is going to be that factor that makes them commit to you when you're giving them everything at the beginning? I think that setting that boundary is really healthy. For example, you guys like talk all the time, right? Like you always answer his calls, or you're giving him access to like all of your energy, showing him like, hey, I'm prioritizing you, and if he's doing the same in return, okay, cool. But now say you guys go on a date, you guys have been talking for a few months, and now he asks you to go home with him. Well, even though you talk every single day, since you guys haven't established anything, either you or him have said, I'm taking you seriously, or like I'm talking to you exclusively, or I plan on, you know, making you my woman, or whatever the case may be, you're not going home with him. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I tell you from experience, don't do it. You guys are still in that getting to know each other phase. What's the point of like doing these romantic things if there's no guarantee of a romantic outcome? This may seem restricting because it's like, well, I like this person, I just want to do what I want with this person. I get it, I've been there. I'm a very free spirit. I'm very go with the flow with a lot of stuff, but it has gotten me hurt, and it has caused me to be in like unnecessarily painful situations with people, not only because of like the things I allowed, but the way I disrespected myself by allowing certain things to happen with people that I ended up realizing after the fact didn't really respect me or value me and the way that I valued them. Putting these boundaries in place is really just a way of like respecting yourself. And I'm not saying that, oh, if you sleep with someone you're not in a relationship with isn't respecting yourself. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying, you know, if you have an idea in your head of what you want from this person or what you want out of this relationship, then you have to move strategically. Establish those boundaries. We're cool, we can talk, we can hang out, whatever, but like I'm not sleeping with you, or no, I'm not like doing these romantic, these things that I would really just, you know, prefer to do with my partner, when you haven't even communicated what it is you're actually trying to get out of this relationship, and we have yet to have that conversation. If that person feels bothered by the fact that you're setting that boundary, it can mean one or two things. They expected you to just go along with whatever because y'all are going with the flow, and now they realize, oh shit, I can't pull that with her. Or they might be upset because it's like, well, I see you like as my girlfriend at this point, so like, and that's when you can have the conversation. So until the conversation is had, you just play your cards right. But like I'm saying, red flag would really be this go with the flow mentality. If he or she just wants to do everything under the sun, under the umbrella of a situationship, but not under the title of a relationship, that's a red flag, because not only is that person getting all this access to you and all of these relationship privileges, but they can get all of these things from you and then turn around and say, well, we were never in a relationship and we never clarified what we were. That's the worst feeling ever, because it allows people to get away with a lot. Protect yourself, just protect yourself. This shit's like not fun. It's not fun being hurt. It's not fun feeling stupid after the fact. It's no bueno, no bueno. The next red flag on my list is inconsistency. When you like someone, especially like if a guy likes you, he'll make the time to talk to you. One thing I know about just like human nature, like people will make time and prioritize time for what's important to them. That you can prioritize like taking a shit once a day. Yeah, you have 5 minutes to text me back or call me. If this person is very on and off, 1 minute they're there, like say they talk to you for like a few weeks and then they go ghost for a few days without an explanation. They talk to you every other day, but they're saying they're just busy. There's a fine line between being busy and then just like taking advantage of someone who's always available to you. I've been the girl that always made myself available. It wasn't from a place of desperation, although that's probably how it came across at the time, but it was more so when I genuinely care about someone, I make the time for you. And you can get taken advantage of for that. When someone isn't making the time for you, it's an indicator that they don't really care about you, at least in the way that you care about them. And 9 times out of 10, they're just bored and they're seeking attention and you're always available to give it to them. So that's another red flag I had to learn, which is not fun at all. There's a difference between genuinely being busy and actually communicating that, like, hey, like for the next few days, I'm gonna be working really hard on this project for work, so I may have less time to talk to you, but I will try my best. Or like, hey, today I have so much to get done, like I'll talk to you when I can, but I may not be able to today. Like, have a great day, like I'll talk to you soon. That is like, that's normal, that's healthy, that's fine. One of my exes, him and I like tell each other when we needed a break. I'd be like, hey babe, like I'm just not in a good mental space today. I just need a day to myself. I need to be completely alone today. It's nothing against you, it has nothing to do with you. I love you, I'm just gonna talk to you when I'm feeling better. And we would give each other that respect and that space, and that's healthy. Someone that comes in and out of your life may not really value you the way that you value them, which like sucks. It sucks to say that. At the end of it, you feel like bad, like you feel stupid. And one thing I hate is feeling stupid. I'm trying to save you guys from feeling and like looking stupid. I really like someone, you're gonna know it. You text me, I'm gonna text you back. I don't do that, oh, I'm gonna wait an hour to text him back. If I don't text you back in an hour, it's because I'm busy. I'm not gonna change the way I text to match the way you text. Like, nah, I'm gonna talk, I'm gonna be myself. And if I like having conversations with you, I'm gonna make it a point that I want to talk to you more. And that's just how I am, that's how I move. When I like you, I'm genuine and I'm real with you. And a lot of people can't be real with each other these days because a lot of people aren't real with themselves. You just kind of have to protect yourself. Some people are narcissists, some people will use you for attention, some people are really genuine but aren't in a space to give you that love. Some people may think you're great, but you're not necessarily what they're looking for or what they need. And so you just have to like kind of play your cards right. Don't beg for like anyone's attention is what I've gained from like my experience. If it kills you to text me at least once a day, I don't need that relationship. Like, the reason that person keeps coming back is because you leave the door wide open for them. They can come and go as they please. You haven't put your foot down, you haven't set a boundary, you're just letting them come and go and giving them the attention when they need it because you're like craving it. You don't talk to them for 3 days and they call you and now you're like, oh my god, so he does like me. No, we're not chasing anyone. It's 2021. If you're not giving me the energy that I'm giving you, bye, respectfully, because the right person for you will give you that same energy tenfold. None of you guys told me that my shirt is literally not a shirt, it's just falling off, so I'm just gonna like hurry up and finish this video because it's getting embarrassing. This is the reason why I hate situationships and why I hate the talking stage sometimes, when it goes too far or it lasts for too long. At some point, you feel confused about what's happening. Anyone who makes you feel confused about what is going on in your relationship, or there's no clarity in regards to where the relationship is headed, what the final destination is, clip it, run, good night, lights out. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Anyone, can you see my nipples? I don't know. Anyone who wants you will make it known. It will be clear as day. I've talked to guys who we would talk on the phone all day and all night, but when the question of like our relationship came up or where you are emotionally when it comes to me comes up, it's like,
I'm going with the flow right now, like still feeling you out right now.
Like all this bullshit. I'm sorry, but that's kind of bullshit at some point, because they can't be real with you and tell you that, you know, maybe they're not interested, just like your attention. They aren't ready for a relationship, that they just like having a pretty girl on the phone. I don't know. Some guys are like very upfront about what they want, and then there are other guys who like play that game. And girls do it too, but I'm saying this from my perspective as like a woman who dates men. One thing about that is like it sucks because it's like you're listening to their words, but their actions say otherwise. Sometimes like they'll tell you actually like I'm not ready for a relationship, but then their actions are showing you how much they like you and care about you, and they're still treating you like their girlfriend. And then I've had other incidents where he's like, no, I really like you, but then like you're not texting me back for 3 days. Stuff like that. Like if their words and their actions don't align, regardless of which one is like catering to your narrative in your head, bro, just clip it. You should not be confused. Any person that wants you makes it known they want you. Anyone who cares about you will prioritize time for you and will make you feel like the most special person in their world. So that whole like confusing thing, he loves me not, he loves me not. No honey, he doesn't, because anyone who does will not make you question yourself. There should never be a time where like you go to bed like, wow, he really likes me, and then like the next day you don't hear from him at all, and then it's like, wait, so did he ghost me? How is he so comfortable not talking to me for this amount of time? Hell no. First of all, like when you really break it down, that's disrespectful. How are you talking to me and you like me, but like you can't even text back? You're not even checking in on me. Someone that sees you as a partner, someone that they can confide in, they will treat you like you're their best friend. Sometimes when I'm going through stuff mentally, I don't want to talk to anybody. Like I just want to be completely alone. But if my best friend were to text me, hey, what's going on? I'm texting my best friend. And your partner should want to, you know, go through things with you together. So I had one guy, he went ghost on me for like 3 days. We were in a long distance relationship. I didn't hear from him, and he was like, oh, I was going through stuff with my dad. And I'm like, well, we've always talked about issues with your family, so I don't see why those 3 days were any different. Come to find out, he had like a whole girlfriend on the side. So it's like things like that you have to look out for. I don't want anyone looking like a fool in these streets. Don't let people take advantage of you. That has been the case for me and like a lot of my previous relationships, and it's not fun and it's harmful to yourself. At the end of the day, you end up feeling dumb. Just know this, even if like you've been that girl or that guy, you feel like you gave too much to someone that didn't really deserve it, it's okay to have a good heart, and you can be strategic about how you're moving when you're dating people and still be open. You just have to like set healthy boundaries, because you may know your intentions are pure, but that doesn't automatically mean theirs are. I'm someone that was always like, yo, like I'd rather give someone my all and then get hurt, because then at least I don't have any what ifs about, you know, how I could have handled like that situation. Like I'll never have what if thinking like, oh, I shouldn't have held back, things could have turned out differently if I had done this. Like I always like to go all in, but now I'm at a point where it's like I will go all in, but I will go all in for the person that shows me respect, the person that like makes it clear that they're deserving of me going all in, you know? That's kind of where I'm at with like my non-existent romantic life. But I'm honestly cool with it. Whether you've been through like really shitty relationships, you've had like really good ones that didn't last, we all learn from these things, we all grow from them. I think because like the talking stage and situationships are so much more common than like actual real relationships these days, I think it's important to be aware of these red flags, because at the end of the day, you don't want to ever feel like you gave to someone who like didn't really value you, you know? So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that. So those were the 3 red flags that I recommend keeping an eye out for while you're in the talking stage. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Please comment down below if you have any red flags to add. There are so many more, but I just wanted to just do these 3 because these are the like most pressing ones I've experienced. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.